Hello and welcome to another edition of Garden State Cannabis TV. I'm your host Nick Mellis, and today we have with us Tara Sargenti, otherwise known as AKA Tara Misu. She's the CEO of Blazin Bakery, an edibles product company, and we're going to talk for the next half hour or so about her business and what she's got cooking for us. Welcome.
Hi, Nick. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and thanks for wanting to come out. And so tell us about the products. What are you cooking right now?
So right now I have two products, and they are both brownie mixes that allow a user to add their own herb. But what the mix does is it optimizes it, so you get a stronger brownie using less herb. And the way this works is using coconut oil, which has a higher fatty acid content, more medium chain triglycerides to bind with THC.
Right.
So it absorbs more. And then soy lecithin, which is an emulsifier. It's used in pharmaceuticals, and it makes it go through your bloodstream and hit you harder and faster. So you get a really potent brownie with no experience needed, and you can make it in no matter where you live. New Jersey, for the moment, still has slightly conservative laws. That's rapidly changing. But it's been great, and it's available nationally. So in people with really conservative states.
So what I really enjoy right off the bat is the fact that your product, you don't have to wait for the regs, you don't have to wait for the governor to sign the bill or anything. You're already out there.
Yeah.
And all people do, like you say, just add their own, hopefully legal cannabis, and they just toss it in and
Absolutely. We started Blazin Bakery in 2010.
Wow.
So quite ahead of the curve. Yeah, 8 years now. I've been helping people all across America make their own edibles. And as essentially the first edibles company in New Jersey operating legally through our, add your own formula.
That's terrific. And how did you get started? Were you a cook before this, or?
It just kind of happened. I said, "Hey, ever made pop brownies before?" So we tried one day, and they turned out really good. And
Cool.
then my friends asked, and my friends' friends asked, and I had all these orders. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna start being a drug dealer, so. But I thought, let me build the mousetrap. It doesn't exist because everyone was asking me how you did it. So then I did a year of, research to the best of my ability with something that's federally illegal. But we developed what is a really great optimized mix. I've gone all over country to, consulting with people, and we put this together, and it's just been really successful. It's spread like crazy.
And, I guess the next move for you would be a cookbook or, something like that later on, or?
You know what? I was approached by, I don't know if you know how Ed Rosenthal is. He's a very famous grower. But I was approached by him in 2014 about doing there's a famous cannabis cookbook, Aunt Sandy, who I've taken a class with. She's just a legend in edible making. But to do a new version of the cannabis cookbook back then, and I had to say no, unfortunately, because the way I've operated is kind of in this legal gray area of avoiding paraphernalia law. So for years now, I can kind of be a little bit more open because they have bigger fish to fry, and we're in a pretty good political climate right now.
Oh, yeah.
But at the time, I really had to say no for use with legal herbs only. So I had to keep the cannabis industry at arm's length.
And one thing that immediately has piqued my interest was that you have developed a formula where you can use less cannabis and it's quicker hitting. I have tried edibles before, and it took such a long time to finally hit my system, and I would love to be able to take it in maybe a half an hour at most, have to wait. And is that typically the case, or depending on the person themselves?
With my mix, it will hit you harder and faster, but not in 15 minutes, or as you were saying, because it does still have to process through your liver and metabolize.
Sure.
But it will go through your blood more effectively. But what we are working on, which people are doing now, is they have ways where we can make THC, which is usually just fat soluble. We can now encase it to make it water soluble. And that is going to greatly reduce onset of effect time. And that's something when my new edible line comes out next year, I am going to have rapid, fast-acting edibles, which hopefully I'll be the first person in New Jersey doing it.
That is awesome. That is so great to hear. It's such a unique perspective, unique thing to do.
Yeah.
And what changes in the upcoming marijuana bill? What kind of changes would you like to see? Maybe something geared towards you, possibly.
Yeah, of course. Don't we all? But yeah, what I would really love to see is the increase in the number of licenses.
Right.
We're taking a very conservative approach with the amount we're releasing. And this thing that it's really doing, which is a shame, is it's putting it in the hands of not just the rich, but the ultra wealthy. You know, when for cultivation we might have 6 licenses, you know, which for a state of 9 million people.
They're gonna find out real quick that was a low ball number, big time.
Yeah, and that's really disappointing.
So in your opinion, what number do you think is out there that, you know, they should be targeting?
I mean, I think 20, 30. Like
That's what I was thinking
it's a
too,
giant
actually.
state, and for dispensaries, they're going to do maybe 50 for the state.
Even if 2 million people decide out of 9 million to participate, that's 2 million people that are going to need
Which
a
is
constant
realistic.
supply.
We're looking at probably about an 18% participation rate, which would put us over 1.5.
All right.
And yeah, I mean, if you look at the town I grew up in is South River, and it's not 2 miles big. But my uncle is a bar owner there, and I was just talking to him. We have 42 liquor licenses.
Yeah.
So 42 bars in a town that's not 2 miles big, but 50 dispensaries for a state of 9 million people.
Not going to work.
It's so skewed, but you got to go somewhere, and, you know, it's progress. It's not perfect, but
Right.
yeah.
And you know, as a woman-owned business, how can we get more women involved in the cannabis industry, which is going to be crucial? And you were saying about the big boys, and we got to limit their influence as much as possible.
Absolutely. You know, as a woman, and I think this is such a great time for people who haven't owned businesses before to get in and just create tons of jobs in New Jersey.
Sure.
And one thing I'd love to see is small business. And I think the way to get into that is, and I've spoke about this at hearings and to legislators, is a micro license. And California did it, Massachusetts did it, and it puts smaller limits on the amount you can produce, but it also puts a much lower cost of entry.
And everyone's in the game. You know, everyone's enjoying the fruits of the labor there.
Absolutely, and it's not going to cost millions. You could, you know, do it for under 100,000, and it's going to allow people to specialize, to say, you know what, there's this one strain that's really great for this particular type of cancer. Let's do research on that. You know, or it's some small product that you have a passion for, almost like craft beers. So I think that would be a great addition, and I really hope that does come out before this goes.
And you've heard of Women Grow, I hope.
Yeah, actually, I will be speaking at the Women Grow in Flemington.
Yeah, that's
July
a new chapter.
12th.
I was there.
Yeah.
When next month?
July 12th, I'll be speaking.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll probably go.
Cool.
I've been there before. They're a great bunch of people, and it's just I'm so happy to see everyone gearing up ahead of time, even though the bill hasn't been signed yet as of this taping, but it's still important to have everyone at the starting gate ready to go. And I think organizations like Women Grow and others out there, New Jersey Cannabis, Scott's doing a fantastic job.
I spoke to Scott twice today, and I think we'll be making an announcement with him pretty soon. But yes, I'm very active in his organization. I try to be active in New Jersey, just politics and everything cannabis.
Yeah, it sounds like it, and it sounds, you know, it's great. You're not just in the kitchen; you're in front of the hearings as well. Which
Imagine that they got the woman out the kitchen.
Wow, how radical! Where's your husband? No, you know, have you been? No, I'm kidding. I've been asked
I
that.
locked
You
him
know.
up.
Right, exactly. And so, what's next for Blazin Bakery?
So next is processing. You know, I have a great team coming together, and we're really optimistic about getting a license this round. You know, hopefully we're going to do everything. You know, grow, produce, dispensary. We have locations in mind. So I'm expecting a really exciting 2019. And, like I said, I have so many great ideas for this product line. Can't give them all away just yet.
No.
But it's going to be really exciting. I want to do some different stuff. And yeah, just get Blazin Bakery edibles and whatever other lines we come out with in every store.
And what's unique about some of the stuff you do compared to some of the other edibles, possibly?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I was saying before, I want to, you know, make them fast acting, but also taste. There's so many new extraction techniques now that can affect flavor to where, you know, that old green taste and everything you do with the home extractions, you know, that's pretty much gone. And I've been out to California and Colorado a lot lately, and I just see some amazing products that I think are good, and I think I can make great, actually. So, yeah, like I said, it's a little proprietary at the time, but expect we're going way past chocolate and gummies.
Right, the usual fare.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
And I heard you say something about coconut oil. Apparently, that ingredient, it sounds like it's really important to a lot of just normal food, let alone
Yeah, well,
the specialty.
coconut oil comes into play more with home extraction, because when you're doing it in your
Right.
kitchen, you're like I said, THC is fat soluble, so you're extracting it into either an alcohol or a fat, and coconut oil is the most effective. But when you're doing a commercial extraction, you're not binding it to a fat; you're extracting the actual oil from the plant. So that you're just getting an extract, basically, botanical.
And what's done with the plant after the extraction, after you've squeezed the oil out of it? Is it composted, or what exactly would you do with something like that? Is there anything wasted?
No, I mean, there's all sorts of things you could actually do with the green plant. It does have some health benefits as well. I'm not sure legally what in New Jersey.
Right.
There might be regulations to what we have to do with our plant matter.
That's going to be curious for me, because
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of people extracting, and so what do you do with big pile of green leaves that
Yeah.
you have left?
And I bet they're going to have an answer for exactly
I'm
what
sure-
I have to do with it.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
And we talked about minorities and women, and keeping minimizing the damage from the big boys, from the big cigarette manufacturers and the big bakeries, and all of a sudden they found the truth, and now they're going to muscle in and
Yeah.
muscle out some of the competition. And I'm hoping that the governor, Governor Murphy, decides to really look at that and address it seriously, because it'll be really, he'll have a lot of angry people if, Marlboro can just walk in and just start rolling,
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to put restrictions, like residency restrictions
Good.
of, what percentage has to be a New Jersey resident. But again, there's, even if you have your token residency requirement, it doesn't mean a major
Doesn't mean
corporation
anything.
owns
Yeah,
the rest of it.
right. They'll just
Yeah.
set up a PO box and claim.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I would love to say this is all going to go to the hardworking people of New Jersey who've been active in the cannabis industry like me for, almost a decade. But unfortunately, that's just not the truth. There is tobacco and pharma, and they want in, and they will get in.
Sure, especially this is a big pharma state, no less,
But I am very happy that people are seeing, especially with the opioid crisis, that there is another alternative now. So
Absolutely.
yeah, marijuana has been great and life-saving for so many people that it's becoming, instead of
Without a doubt.
gateway drug, now it's becoming an exit drug.
Right.
So
And I like the fact that I love hearing stories about kids who had 100 seizures a day, and now they're getting 2 or 3 a month at most, and that's proof in the pudding right there, that it works, and it's not just BS. And yeah, sometimes you get a little leery about, oh yeah, I've got this kind of cancer and it worked great. Well, we need a little studies, and
no, I was epileptic as a child, and I've been on pharmaceuticals for most of my life, and at this point I'm controlled. I haven't had a seizure in 20 years. So,
oh, that's terrific.
So I'm too late to jump ship, but God knows what chemicals I've put in my body my whole life. And if I was a child today, I think maybe cannabis might be a first option, not a backup option, because it's much more natural.
And the glory of CBD is, your kids can utilize the plant without catching a buzz at 13 or something, that your kids are
Absolutely.
going to be sober.
Completely
and just,
non-psychoactive and
Right.
natural. Your body produces, the receptors for it naturally.
Right.
And, yeah, it's
Cool. So what else do you think we should cover? I just want to make sure, we get your Blazing Bakery out there. Do you have an office located anywhere, or?
No, I work out of a commercial kitchen, and we sell online. You can get it at blazinbakery.com, Blazin. We also sell it on Amazon. I'm vending at Groove on Grove every Wednesday in Jersey City. I'll be at Cannabis down in Trenton next month.
I'll be there too.
You will? Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm always at local events, and you can always find me around New Jersey. So, and follow me on social, pretty much everything.
Sure.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh,
What
you
other?
know what? You know what I didn't talk about is
Sure.
my other product is a microwavable version, and I think
Oh.
this is really cool because you have a younger audience, I'd imagine, kind of.
Sure.
And I was vending up in Boston one year, and all these college students came up to me and said, "I don't have a microwave. I don't have an oven. I live in a dorm. I live with my parents." And I said, you know what? I need to make this microwavable because not everyone bakes. Not everyone wants to light their oven. So I created the first microwavable edible brownie that you could do yourself. So it's really cool. It cooks in 50 seconds, and you don't need to make butter or oil. It's just water and herb in a mug, and you can take it on a plane. The vials, the measuring cup. It's a super cool, fun product. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that too.
Sure. And so without revealing, I know you have some, projects in mind, but
Sure.
what generally speaking, what kind of like food avenues are you thinking of going down?
Well, probably the things I would go to are people are going towards smaller doses, because you do hear these stories of, oh, I overconsumed and then I had a bad experience. And we don't want that. We want,
No.
there's so many new users coming in, and we want them to all have great experiences. So, low dose, take it slow, low and slow. And
Rookie cookies.
Rookie cookies, 5 milligrams start with, and wait 2 hours and then see. And I think that's what you're going to be seeing a lot of, is not so
Great.
much this old school of, let's jam as much THC into it as possible, and then someone freaks out. So,
Right.
And discreet products too. I love brownies, but I don't want one every morning. So
Right.
things that fit into people's lifestyle, healthier choices, things like that.
Yeah, cereals and things like that. You can mix it in. I don't know if milk affects it or chemically either way, but
Well, something like a granola bar in the morning, or
Right.
something like that would be perfect.
and it's great because you can be discreet and go on a plane and don't have to worry about going through an X-ray machine with a brownie or
Exactly.
something.
Just something you could just pop in your mouth and
Be done
fast
with it.
acting, and good
That's
stuff.
great. So you seem to be having a lot of fun with this, what kind of challenges have you met so far, other than the illegality itself, of course? But
Fun is a strong word. It's getting fun. It's been a long, rough journey. Anyone who's been in this industry for a long time, I've had my bank account seized twice, my money sent back to me. I've been
Oh, wow.
sued twice. I've had my payment portal shut down. I've had to redo my social media 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's constantly a battle, and it's not perfect yet. We're still having a lot of issues with banking and and zoning, and people jacking up the rent of spaces.
well, Blazing Bakery doesn't have the word cannabis in it, so I imagine getting a bank account shouldn't be too difficult. Or is the bank rep asking you what do you mean blazing?
Well, it's a combination of due diligence and then not really, because I've had ones where they didn't look at all, and that was
Right.
great. But then if you look but don't look far enough, you just go to the homepage and you see this cannabis vibe, and they just say, cannabis business, we're not touching it. But if you actually went a little bit further, you would see that it's not plant touching, it's completely legal.
Right.
This my product was in Spencer Gifts at the mall, so it was in their 700 stores, and if you don't trust my lawyers, trust theirs. Like, it's fine, but banks are afraid.
Sure.
They hear federally illegal, even though it doesn't touch the plant, people get scared. So.
Right. In fact, I even changed the name of this video company so that I could get a bank account and be able to do business
Yeah.
with credit cards and stuff. I may be Garden State Cannabis Consultants, but
Yeah.
if you deal with me, I have a different billing company to
Yeah.
charge you
I
to.
mean, the company is actually, it's me. It's Tara Misu LLC.
Right. And have you thought about doing a TV show with this?
My own?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have
cooking show.
I have a YouTube channel. One of the things that actually got my business kind of started in the beginning was a viral video, because at the time there was not a lot. Now, if you Google, how to make pot brownies,
No, million hits.
millions. But 10 years ago, not really the case. Not 10. What is 8? But so back when I made my first how-to video, back then it was called Mary Jane Mix. That was one of my fun lawsuits. But yeah, it had it shot up to 100,000 views really quickly,
Wow.
and it was at the time the top ranked video on how to make herbal brownies. So I did really enjoy that, and I had all the intentions of actually making a lot more videos, but it's just always time. There's so much I wish I had 3 of me to do all the ideas that I have.
Sure.
But,
Well, now you have a video company that you can maybe count on in the future, and
yeah,
have an employee help you out with that. That's great.
that would be amazing.
What challenges would you tell people to be aware of getting involved in any cannabis and/or the edible business? What challenges have you
I mean,
confronted?
it's very competitive at this point. Everyone wants to ride the green rush. So if you're coming in, you better have more than, oh, I'm a good cook, or,
Right.
oh, I like weed. That's nice. but you know, it's still a business. So anyone coming in really has to come at it
Right.
with a unique perspective. It's a whole lot of hard work. In some ways, it's a lot more hard work because you have to jump through a lot of hoops to get things done.
Right.
But I do love it. It's my passion. It's a great industry. I know so many great people, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. So I would encourage people, but just be ready to roll your sleeves up.
Well, we met someone. You know, I interviewed someone who does who does conveyor belts and things like that. So I'm hoping that, you know, at some point you're going to gear up to actually be using something like that on a mass scale.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have a full production facility. You know, the people I'm talking with, we're thinking big.
Wow,
You know,
that's great.
because there's only going to be so many of us, and we have a big state to supply. So
Right.
absolutely, get those conveyor belts running.
That is so cool. I think this whole thing has just been great. I'm nearly 60, and I am 60, and I never thought I'd live long enough to actually see this actually happen. This has just been amazing. So for all the young people out there, this is just going to be a wonderful future for everyone.
Yeah.
The state's going to get their money, and people are going to be able to live like human beings instead of like hide like animals, you know, over a stupid thing like smoking a plant, which I always thought it was just a total idiocy, just, you know, really just ridiculous.
I think we're gonna look back at this the way we look at alcohol prohibition, and
Right.
just be like, what
And gay
lunacy was
marriage,
that?
you know.
Yeah, we were throwing people in jail, really, like
For
yeah,
this? Got to be kidding me.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's great, Tara. Thank you very much for being on today, and thanks for making the trip down to being on the show, and best of luck to you.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And again, go to Blazing Bakery and Google it. Go to blazingbakery.com.
Yep.
And Tara will take care of you with brownies and other things. And until next time, take care.